Imagine you're lying in bed. Everything is quiet, but suddenly you wake up. You look at the clock. It's 3 a.m. Again, you try to sleep, but your mind is alert, filled with thoughts that seem louder in the silence. It feels strange, mysterious, like the universe is trying to tell you something. Why does this happen? Have you ever wondered why you wake up at exactly 3 a.m. on certain nights? Is it just a sleep issue? Or something deeper? Do you notice how clear your thoughts are at that hour, even when the world is still asleep? Can this moment hold a hidden message, something beyond the ordinary? Let's take a simple example. Think of a time when you sat quietly early in the morning. Maybe you were at a temple, maybe just on your porch. The air was cool, the sky still dark. Didn't it feel peaceful, like time had slowed down just for you? That peaceful feeling isn't random. In Buddhism, there's a reason for that calm, a reason tied deeply to this strange 3 a.m. moment. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. This journey is not just about waking up early. It's about waking up within. There's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please, like this video if it speaks to your heart. Comment your thoughts below, and first, comment Namo Buddha to stay energetic with the flow. Share this with someone who wakes up at 3 a.m. too. And don't forget to subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Now let's go deeper. In Buddhism, the early hours before dawn are called Brahma Muhurta, the Creator's hour. It is a time when the body is still, the mind is clear, and the spiritual energy of the world is at its highest. Waking up during this time isn't a mistake. It is seen as a sign of spiritual awakening. For centuries, monks have risen at this hour, not because they must, but because they know its power. It's not about being religious. It's about becoming aware. When you wake at 3 a.m., your inner world speaks louder. Your worries feel sharper, your memories clearer, your questions deeper. Buddhism teaches us that these moments are not to be ignored. They are to be understood. This series will open your eyes to what that time means, not just from a scientific angle, but from a spiritual truth. Your soul may be trying to nudge you. Your karma may be speaking softly, and your spirit might be ready for a quiet transformation. Let's walk together on this silent path, one part at a time. And by the end, what wakes you up at 3 a.m. may no longer be a mystery. It might just be your true self gently knocking. Buddhist time wisdom, the sacred stillness of Brahma Muhurta. When we talk about the time of 3 a.m., we are stepping into a space where the world is quiet but not empty. It is a sacred stillness that, in Buddhism, is considered a time when the energies of the universe align with your inner self. In Buddhism, this quiet moment before the sun rises is not just a peaceful period of rest. It is a profound opportunity for self-awareness, meditation, and spiritual awakening. Imagine this. The world around you is still. Most people are asleep, wrapped in the comfort of their dreams. But your mind, although still in a dreamlike state, is also alert. It is in this subtle silence that you might begin to notice things, thoughts, feelings, emotions, that often go unnoticed during the chaos of your day-to-day life. This is what we call Brahma Muhurta in Buddhist philosophy. It is said to be the most auspicious time for meditation, reflection, and setting your intentions for the day. It is a time when your mind is naturally at its clearest, most receptive to wisdom and insight. Brahma Muhurta, literally translated as the Creator's hour, is considered a sacred period of time, roughly 90 minutes before sunrise. In Buddhist practice, waking up during this time is not a coincidence, but a sign. It is believed that during these early hours, the veil between the material world and spiritual world is thinner, making it the perfect time for meditation and spiritual growth. When you wake up at 3 a.m., you are not just experiencing a disruption in your sleep pattern. No, what is happening is far more profound. Your body and mind are signaling that you are being called to a higher level of awareness. This is your chance to tap into a deeper consciousness beyond the limitations of the physical world. It is as though the universe, in its infinite wisdom, is telling you that it is time to listen to your inner voice, your true self, which may have been buried under layers of daily distractions. At this hour, the energy in the air is gentle but powerful. The energy is clean, clear, and calm. For a moment, the noise of the world recedes, and you are left with the space to hear your own thoughts. But these thoughts are not the same as the endless stream of thoughts you have during the day. These early morning thoughts are often quieter, more meaningful. They are like whispers from your soul, calling you to pay attention, to reflect, to connect with something larger than yourself. It is also a time for meditation. Buddhists believe that meditation at this hour has a unique quality. Your mind is still in a state of lightness, and it is free from the distractions that fill your mind during the day. It is the perfect time to focus, to clear away the noise, and to center yourself. When you meditate at 3 a.m., you can enter a state of deep peace, a peace that is more profound than what you might experience at any other time of the day. This peace is not just about the absence of thought. It is the peace of connecting with the present moment, of being fully aware of your surroundings, your breath, your body, and your mind. But there's more to it. In Buddhism, it is said that the time between 3 a.m. and sunrise is when the world is most attuned to spiritual vibrations. During this time, the energies of the earth are believed to be aligned in such a way that they support your spiritual growth. The early morning is a time when the universe is offering its support, giving you a window to tap into these energies. If you are awake and aware, you can harness this energy, much like a river flowing gently and inviting you to drink. Brahma Muhurta is not just a time of passive rest, but an active invitation to explore your inner self. The Buddha taught that everything in life is connected, and at 3 a.m., the connection between you, the world, and the universe feels most clear. When you wake up during this time, it's like being offered an invitation to the temple of your own mind. The quiet of the early hours invites you to reflect on your life, on the choices you have made, and on the path you are walking. The stillness provides the space for insight, growth, and clarity. Now, it's important to understand that waking up at 3 a.m. is not about forcing yourself into a rigid routine, nor is it about following a strict ritual. Instead, it's about being in tune with the natural rhythms of your body and the universe. It's about embracing the peaceful energy that is available at this hour. If you wake up at 3 a.m. and feel restless, do not fight it. Instead, take a deep breath, sit quietly, and allow yourself to be present. Don't rush to fill the silence with thoughts or worries. Just be. In that stillness, you will begin to connect with something deeper, your own essence, the calm energy that exists beyond your daily concerns. In Buddhist philosophy, the idea of mindfulness is central. It teaches that every moment is an opportunity to be fully present, and this is especially true in the early morning hours. At 3 a.m., your mind is less cluttered and your senses are heightened. This is the perfect time to practice mindfulness, to observe your thoughts without judgment, to allow them to come and go freely without clinging to them. The practice of mindfulness can help you build a stronger connection to your true self, enabling you to move through the world with more clarity, peace, and understanding. Waking up at 3 a.m. can be a sign that you are ready to begin a deeper journey of self-awareness. Your mind is more attuned to the present moment, and the universe is offering you a unique opportunity to connect with your higher self. By embracing this time, you can step into a space of inner calm, clarity, and mindfulness. The practice of waking up at 3 a.m. is not about becoming rigid in your routine or following a strict regimen. It is about honoring the natural rhythms of your body and soul and allowing yourself the space to awaken to your true potential. In Buddhism, we are taught that each moment is precious and that the time we spend in quiet contemplation is invaluable. When you wake up at 3 a.m., you are being offered the gift of stillness, an opportunity to connect with your true essence, to listen deeply to the whispers of your soul. The stillness of Brahma Muhurta is not to be feared or resisted, but embraced. It is a time of deep spiritual connection, a time when the universe is inviting you to awaken and be present to the truth of who you are. So, the next time you wake up at 3 a.m., don't see it as an interruption. Instead, see it as a calling to connect with the deeper parts of yourself, to embrace the peace of the early morning, and to allow the wisdom of the universe to guide you. This time is sacred. It is yours to embrace. Karma and the clock. How past actions echo at dawn. When we wake up at 3 a.m., it is not just the body that stirs, but the mind, the heart, and perhaps even the spirit. In the stillness of this hour, many of us feel a strange sense of clarity, a sense that the world, at that moment, is trying to speak to us. But what is the meaning behind this? Could it be that the answer lies in something as ancient and mysterious as karma? Karma, as taught in Buddhism, refers to the law of cause and effect. Every action we take, whether in thought, speech, or deed, sets something in motion. It may be small, like a pebble falling into a pond, but the ripples can extend far beyond what we can see. These actions accumulate, layer upon layer, influencing our experiences in ways we might not always recognize. And so, when we wake up at 3 a.m., perhaps it is not a random event. Perhaps it is the echo of our past actions, our karma, returning to us in a quiet moment when the world is at rest. Have you ever noticed that your thoughts seem clearer, more vivid in the early hours? It's as though the usual noise of the world, the distractions, the worries, the chaos, has quieted down, allowing you to hear the deeper whispers of your mind. It is in this moment that we may come face to face with the consequences of our past actions. These consequences are not always negative or heavy. They can also be the seeds of growth, of peace, of understanding. Karma does not punish us. It merely offers us the results of what we have sown, good or bad. Think about the things you've done, the choices you've made, the paths you've walked. Sometimes the reasons why we wake up at 3 a.m. are connected to these past decisions. They can manifest as regrets or as moments of clarity, but they are always connected to the cause we set into motion long ago. It is in these quiet hours that our past selves meet us, asking us to look at the seeds we've planted and whether we are ready to reap what we have sown. In Buddhist practice, it's said that when we wake up in the early hours, the body is still in a deep state of rest. But the mind, in its clarity, is open to reflection, to learning, to growth. At this time, it's easier to see the truth of our actions. Perhaps you feel a deep sense of peace in these early hours, or maybe there's a sense of discomfort, a lingering question about something you did, something you didn't do, or something you wish you had done differently. That discomfort is not punishment. It is the pull of karma, asking you to reflect, to learn, and to change. Buddhism teaches that karma is not about being judged by some higher power. It is not about reward and punishment. Rather, it is the natural law of life. What you sow, you shall reap. The 3 a.m. wake-up call could be a gentle nudge from the universe, reminding you that everything is interconnected. Every action you take, no matter how small, ripples outward. And in this moment of stillness, your mind is given the opportunity to reflect on those ripples, to understand the cause and effect of your life. This is why waking up at 3 a.m. is not just about being restless or troubled. It is an opportunity. It is a chance to look within, to examine your own karma. What have you been carrying with you? What unresolved feelings or actions have you yet to address? In these still hours, you may find the answers. You may find the space to forgive yourself, to understand why things happen the way they did, and to decide how you want to move forward. But there's another side to karma. It is not only about the past. It is also about the future. The choices you make now, what you think, what you do, how you speak, will create the karma of tomorrow. The 3 a.m. moment, then, is a reminder that your actions are always in motion, even when you're not aware of them. At this hour, you're given a moment of clarity, an opportunity to choose how you wish to shape your future. You're not bound by your past mistakes or regrets. Karma is not a trap. It is a tool. It is something that can help you grow, evolve, and become who you are meant to be. This is where the beauty of waking up at 3 a.m. truly lies. It's not just about reflecting on the past. It's about transforming your future. When you are awake at this hour, your mind is more open to new possibilities. You have the chance to release old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve you. It is in this stillness, in this moment of clarity, that you can plant new seeds of wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. You can choose to forgive yourself, to forgive others, and to move forward with a sense of peace that was not available before. In Buddhism, the idea of right action is a key part of the path to enlightenment. It is not about perfection, but about intentionality. It's about living in a way that aligns with the deeper truths of life, truths that can only be understood when we are still, when we are awake in the early hours, when the noise of the world has faded away. 3 a.m. becomes a mirror, reflecting back to you the choices you have made, the path you have walked, and the actions you have taken. But it also reflects back to you the possibility of change, the opportunity to choose a different path, a wiser path, a more compassionate path. In this way, waking up at 3 a.m. can be seen as a blessing, not a burden. It is not just a restless night or a frustrating moment of wakefulness. It is an invitation to examine your life, to reflect on your past karma, and to make conscious choices for your future. It is a chance to tune into your higher self, to listen to the deeper wisdom that resides within you, and to align your actions with that wisdom. The next time you wake up at 3 a.m., don't be quick to dismiss it as a mere coincidence. Take a moment to pause, to reflect, and to ask yourself what your life is trying to tell you. The law of karma is always at work, but it is most powerful when we are awake, aware, and present. In those early hours, the world is quieter, the mind is clearer, and the opportunity to create positive change is greater than ever. So, embrace the 3 a.m. wake-up call. See it not as an interruption to your sleep, but as a gift from the universe. It is a moment to reconnect with yourself, to reflect on the past, and to set the intention for a brighter, more mindful future. Through this, you will begin to understand the profound connection between your actions, your thoughts, and the world around you. You will see how your past karma is guiding you, and how you have the power to shape your future with every mindful choice you make. The mind's whisper, Buddhist psychology at 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m., and you find yourself awake. You didn't plan it, but there you are, lying in the dark with nothing but the quiet to keep you company. As you try to drift back to sleep, your mind is alive with thoughts. Thoughts that seem louder at this hour. Thoughts that feel more important, more urgent. At this moment, it can feel as if the universe is speaking directly to you, asking you to pay attention. But what is the message? Why does this time feel so powerful? In Buddhism, we understand that the mind is not just something that thinks. It is the root of our suffering and our liberation. The mind, when left unchecked, creates stories, distractions, and desires that pull us away from the present moment. It is the mind that traps us in cycles of worry, fear, and doubt. But the mind is also the key to enlightenment, and this paradox is something we must come to terms with. When we wake up at 3 a.m., it is not just a random event. It's an opportunity for the mind to speak, for the subconscious to reveal what is hidden deep within. In Buddhism, we speak of the mind in two aspects, the conscious and the unconscious. The conscious mind is what we actively think with, the part of the mind that is engaged during the day. The unconscious mind, however, is where our deepest thoughts, emotions, and memories reside. At 3 a.m., the boundary between these two realms seems to soften. The conscious mind is still and quiet, while the unconscious rises to the surface. This is why, in those early hours, thoughts come flooding in, some of them comforting, others unsettling. You might suddenly think about a past event, an unresolved emotion, or a question that has been lingering in your heart for days or even years. Buddhist psychology teaches us that these thoughts are not accidental. They are the result of karma, the law of cause and effect. Everything that has happened in your life, every action you've taken, every word you've spoken, has created an imprint in your mind. These imprints are like seeds that sprout when the conditions are right. In the stillness of 3 a.m., the seeds of your past actions, your karma, begin to grow and make themselves known. But what does this mean for you? It means that when you wake up at 3 a.m., your mind is giving you an opportunity to confront your karma. You are being invited to look at the deeper layers of your being, to examine the thoughts and feelings that arise, and to understand where they come from. The Buddhists call this practice mindfulness. It is the art of observing your thoughts without judgment, of being fully aware of what arises in your mind without reacting to it. When we approach our thoughts with mindfulness, we begin to see them for what they truly are: transient, impermanent, and often disconnected from our true nature. The thoughts that come at 3 a.m. are not who you are. They're not permanent truths. They're like clouds passing through the sky. Some are dark and heavy, others light and wispy. But none of them define you. This realization is powerful because it allows you to detach from the constant flow of thoughts and emotions. It teaches you that you do not need to cling to every thought that arises, nor do you need to fight against them. In Buddhist teachings, we learn to practice non-attachment, to let go of the need to control our thoughts, and to simply observe them as they come and go. At 3 a.m., this practice of non-attachment becomes especially important. Your mind is more open, more receptive, and the thoughts that arise are more potent. This is a chance to sit with your mind in its most raw, unfiltered form. There is no distraction, no noise from the outside world, only you and your thoughts. In this silence, you can begin to discern the patterns that shape your life. What thoughts repeat themselves? What emotions come up again and again? What memories do you keep revisiting? These are the clues to understanding your deeper self. Sometimes, the thoughts that arise at 3 a.m. may be unsettling or uncomfortable. You may find yourself dwelling on a mistake you made, a regret you carry, or a fear that seems to have no resolution. In these moments, it is important to remember the Buddhist teaching of impermanence. All things are temporary, including your thoughts and emotions. The discomfort you feel at this hour will not last forever. It is simply a passing moment, and by acknowledging it without judgment, you are already beginning to free yourself from its hold. Buddhism also teaches that suffering is a natural part of life. But suffering is not something to avoid or escape from. It is something to embrace and understand. In the stillness of 3 a.m., you may encounter your own suffering in its most raw form. It may feel intense, but it is also an opportunity for growth. This is the moment when you can begin to unravel the causes of your suffering, to understand where it comes from, and to work through it with compassion and mindfulness. As you sit with your thoughts, remember the practice of compassionate awareness. Rather than condemning yourself for your thoughts or feelings, practice compassion. Understand that you, like all beings, are imperfect. You have your struggles, your fears, and your wounds. But these are not permanent, just as the thoughts that arise in your mind at 3 a.m. are not permanent. They are transient, and with awareness, they will fade. At 3 a.m., you have the chance to reframe your relationship with your mind. Instead of seeing your thoughts as obstacles, see them as teachers. Each thought, each feeling, each memory is a reflection of your inner world. By observing them with mindfulness, you begin to see the interconnectedness of all things, the way your past actions have shaped your present moment, and how your present moment will shape your future. In Buddhism, we are taught that the mind can either be a source of suffering or a source of enlightenment. The key is not to fight the mind, but to understand it, to observe it, to let go of the need to control it. When you wake up at 3 a.m., don't be afraid of what your mind reveals. Welcome it. Sit with it. Let it teach you. This is the path to true wisdom. So, the next time you wake up at 3 a.m., instead of trying to fall back asleep, take a moment to observe. What is your mind telling you? What emotions are rising? What patterns are repeating? In the silence of that hour, you have a rare opportunity to listen closely to the whispers of your mind. And in that listening, you will begin to understand yourself more deeply than ever before. Dreams, dharma, and discomfort. Hidden messages in midnight wakefulness. The clock strikes 3 a.m. You wake up suddenly. Your body is still, but your mind is alive. Thoughts swirl, memories flood in, and emotions rise. You turn and glance at the clock again, hoping you can fall back to sleep, but something is different. The world around you is silent, almost too silent. The stillness feels heavy, but not in a bad way. It's as though everything is in perfect balance. You've felt this before. It's the quiet of the night, yes, but it's more than that. It's a deeper silence, as if the universe itself is waiting for something. This moment isn't an accident. In Buddhism, waking up at 3 a.m. has a profound significance. The early hours of the morning, especially around this time, are considered a sacred space, a bridge between the night's dreams and the day's reality. It is a time of clarity and reflection, a space where the boundary between the material and the spiritual world feels thin. It's the perfect moment for deep insight, but it's also a time when many of us face discomfort, the kind that makes us feel restless, uneasy, or even confused. This discomfort, however, is not to be feared. In fact, it's an invitation to go deeper. When you wake up at 3 a.m., your mind often brings up memories or emotions that you might not be consciously aware of during the day. These thoughts may feel like they come from nowhere, but they're not random. In Buddhism, this is known as the practice of vipassana, or insight meditation. It's about being aware of your thoughts, understanding them without judgment, and allowing them to pass through you like clouds in the sky. But waking up in the middle of the night isn't always a time for calm reflection. Instead, it often feels more like an interruption. The thoughts that arise may be uncomfortable, stirring up feelings of anxiety, fear, or unresolved issues. Why is this the case? Why do we seem to feel more vulnerable in the middle of the night? The answer lies in the Buddhist concept of samsara, the cycle of suffering and rebirth. The restless thoughts and emotions that surface at 3 a.m. are not just random. They're a reflection of the unresolved karma within you. Karma, in the Buddhist sense, doesn't just refer to the actions you've taken, but also to the feelings and thoughts you've held on to, often without realizing it. These unaddressed feelings begin to resurface when you are in a quiet state, away from the distractions of the world around you. The stillness of 3 a.m. creates an environment where your mind can no longer avoid the deep-seated discomfort that lies within. But this discomfort is not a curse, it's a gift. In Buddhism, the path to enlightenment is not about avoiding discomfort, but facing it head-on. It's about acknowledging the pain, the anxiety, the fear, and the confusion, and understanding that these feelings are not you. They're simply experiences you are having in this moment. When you wake up at 3 a.m. and your mind is racing, remember that this is a moment of Dharma, the teachings of truth. You have the opportunity to engage with your mind in a way that is rare during the day, when distractions constantly pull your attention away. In these quiet, early hours, you can observe your thoughts with a sense of mindfulness. As you lie there, you may feel tempted to grab your phone, turn on the TV, or do something to distract yourself. But instead, try to sit with the discomfort. Ask yourself, what is the source of this discomfort? Why does it arise now, when everything else is still? In Buddhist practice, discomfort is seen as an opportunity for growth. The more you sit with it, the more you begin to understand its roots. You'll start to see patterns, old habits, or unresolved emotions that have been hidden away. The discomfort isn't a punishment. It's a mirror, reflecting back parts of yourself that need attention. There's another aspect to this early morning wakefulness that Buddhist teachings touch on, the idea of impermanence. This is a central concept in Buddhism, the understanding that everything in life is temporary, including our thoughts and feelings. When you wake up in the middle of the night, your mind may be flooded with worries or regrets, but if you sit with them long enough, you'll realize that they, too, are impermanent. Just as the night fades into day, your thoughts and feelings will eventually shift if you allow them to. The key is to avoid identifying with them. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. This is where the practice of zazen, or seated meditation, can be especially powerful. When you wake up at 3 a.m., instead of immediately trying to fall back asleep, Try sitting up and simply observing your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the coolness of the air, and the sensation of your body in the present moment. Allow your mind to wander, but don't get caught up in the stories it tells. When discomfort arises, don't push it away. Simply acknowledge it, breathe through it, and let it pass. This practice can be transformative. Over time, you'll learn that the restless thoughts that arise at 3 a.m. are not obstacles. They are your teachers. They offer you a chance to look more deeply into your own mind, to learn more about yourself, and to free yourself from the cycles of suffering that keep you trapped in repetitive thought patterns. Many people find it difficult to wake up at 3 a.m. and not feel overwhelmed by their thoughts. But remember this, waking up at 3 a.m. is not an accident. The universe, or whatever you believe in, is giving you a chance to connect with something deeper within you. You may not always understand why you're awake at this hour, but there is meaning in it. Buddhist monks have long practiced waking early because they understand the power of the early morning to transform the mind. It's a time when the world is still and the mind has the chance to be at its clearest. Instead of seeing this wakefulness as a nuisance, view it as an opportunity for growth. At 3 a.m., the world is still, but your mind is wide open. It's the perfect time to meditate, reflect, and connect with your true self. The discomfort you feel isn't something to avoid. It's something to lean into, to examine, and to understand. Each time you wake up at 3 a.m., you're being offered a chance to break free from the chains of unconsciousness and step into a more awakened state. The questions and feelings that arise are not accidents. They are part of your spiritual journey. They are the universe's way of guiding you toward clarity, peace, and ultimately, freedom. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, don't rush to sleep again. Take a moment, breathe, see the discomfort for what it is, a call to be more aware, to live more consciously, and to break free from the patterns that hold you back. Embrace the silence, embrace the discomfort, and allow it to transform you. After all, this moment, the stillness, the wakefulness, the discomfort, is your invitation to wake up. The middle way of sleep, balancing rest and awareness. In the stillness of the early morning, as the world around you remains quiet and undisturbed, your mind finds a moment of peace, a space that seems so rare in the hustle and bustle of daily life. But when you wake up at 3 a.m., it's not just the world that's silent. Your mind is awake, alert, and often filled with thoughts. Thoughts that come rushing in like waves, but the challenge lies in not being pulled away by them. In these precious early hours, the Buddhist principle of the middle way teaches us something deeply profound about balance. Balance between rest and awareness. Imagine for a moment that you are standing on a tightrope stretched between two mountains. One side represents deep, restful sleep, your body's natural need to recharge, to repair. The other side represents pure alertness, awareness, mindfulness, being completely conscious and awake. As you stand there, the trick is not to fall to one side. If you lean too much into rest, you lose your awareness. If you lean too much into awareness, you lose the rest you need to function. This is the very essence of the middle way. It is about walking that fine line, embracing both the need for deep rest and the gift of clear consciousness. In Buddhism, the middle way isn't just a concept, it is a way of life. It's about finding equilibrium, not too much of anything and not too little. When you wake up at 3 a.m., it may feel like your body is begging for more rest, but your mind is wide awake, buzzing with thoughts and ideas. This is the moment when you must embrace the middle way, finding the balance between resting your body and awakening your mind. It's not about forcing yourself back to sleep or forcing yourself to stay awake. It's about understanding the need for both and respecting the flow of each. The question then becomes, how do you find that balance? It starts by understanding that the body and mind aren't separate. They're deeply interconnected, and the way you treat one affects the other. In the silence of 3 a.m., your body may not need more sleep, but your mind may be craving clarity. In those moments, you must learn to listen to both the body and the mind. The middle way teaches us that we don't have to push either to an extreme. If you are awake, be awake. If you're tired, be tired. Allow yourself to embrace both states without judgment or force. When you wake up at this hour, your body may be telling you that it's still in a state of rest, but your mind is full of thoughts that refuse to let go. There's a tension between the two. But this tension is not something to resist. It's something to observe. The Buddha once said that the mind, like water, reflects everything in its surroundings. At 3 a.m., when the world is quiet and your thoughts are still, this is the perfect time to observe your mind with the calmness of water, still, clear, and without disturbance. This is where the middle way reveals its beauty, in the ability to observe your thoughts without being swept away by them. Finding balance between rest and awareness isn't about fighting against your nature. It's about understanding the natural rhythms of your body and mind. Your body needs sleep to repair, to heal, to grow stronger. But your mind, when it's quiet and clear, has the potential to open up to deeper insights. Waking up at 3 a.m. is not a curse, nor is it an inconvenience. It's an opportunity to explore the depths of your consciousness, to sit with your thoughts and listen to the quiet wisdom that lies within. The challenge isn't in trying to fall asleep again, it's in accepting the moment for what it is. Buddhism teaches us that every moment, whether awake or asleep, is a moment to practice mindfulness. In the early hours, when you're caught between sleep and wakefulness, you have the chance to truly understand the nature of your own mind. You don't need to push away your thoughts. Instead, simply observe them as they come and go, like leaves floating on a stream. This is the path of true mindfulness, the ability to be present with whatever is happening without judgment. Sometimes, the best way to find balance is not by trying to control the situation, but by letting go of the need to control it at all. At 3 a.m., when you wake up in the middle of the night, let go of any expectations you may have about sleep or productivity. Allow yourself to simply be. The middle way teaches us that life isn't about extremes. It's about finding the harmony between opposites. In the context of sleep and wakefulness, it's about letting both rest and awareness coexist without forcing one to dominate the other. When you can approach your wakefulness at 3 a.m. with this kind of openness, you begin to see it as a gift. Your body and mind, in their delicate dance, offer you this opportunity to practice awareness in its purest form. The world is still asleep, but you have the chance to awaken in a way that few others do. The beauty of this moment lies not in forcing yourself back to sleep, but in embracing the quiet, in becoming aware of the stillness that surrounds you. This is where the Buddhist teachings truly come alive. The middle way is not just about finding balance in your actions, but in your very state of being. When you wake up at 3 a.m., it's not a mistake. It's an invitation to practice presence. You don't need to fill the space with noise or restlessness. Simply sit in the stillness, observe your thoughts, and listen to the quiet wisdom of your own heart. As you learn to balance rest and awareness, you'll find that your relationship with sleep changes. It's no longer something to escape from or something to force. Instead, sleep becomes a natural rhythm, a cycle that supports your well-being and helps you align with the deeper wisdom of your mind. You begin to understand that the time between wakefulness and sleep is not an interruption, but a chance to practice mindfulness, to practice being without the need to do. In the stillness of the early morning, you are given a choice. You can either resist the moment, or you can embrace it. The middle way asks you to choose the latter, to embrace the moment for what it is, without forcing it to be something else. In this way, even waking up at 3 a.m. can become an act of mindfulness, an act of balance, and an act of wisdom. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, don't be discouraged. Don't rush to push the moment away. Instead, ask yourself, what is my mind trying to tell me right now? What does my body need in this moment? And then, allow yourself to find the balance between both. The practice of the middle way is not about perfection. It's about understanding the ebb and flow of life and aligning yourself with its natural rhythms. This is the path to peace, the path to awakening, and the path to true balance. The power of present silence. Meditation in the pre-dawn window. In the quiet of the early morning, just before the world begins to stir, there is a moment of stillness that seems to stretch beyond time. It is in this fragile window, the few minutes before the sun rises, that the mind is at its most serene, the heart at its most open, and the spirit at its most awake. This is when we can truly hear ourselves, unfiltered by the noise of the day. This is the sacred time of meditation, the space where everything falls silent and we are left with the most profound truths. At 3 a.m., the world is asleep, and so too is the outer world of distractions. There are no sounds of traffic, no chatter, no social media notifications demanding our attention. It's just you, the silence, and the deep rhythm of your breath. This is the perfect time for meditation, especially in the Buddhist tradition. The practice of meditation is not merely sitting still. It's an art of deeply attuning to the present moment, a moment that can only be fully experienced in stillness. You might ask, why this hour? Why not any other time of day? The answer lies in the energy of the early morning itself. In Buddhism, there's an understanding that during the hours of Brahma Muhurta, the time before dawn, the mind and body are most connected to their truest state. The distractions of the day haven't yet begun to cloud our thoughts, and the usual mental chatter has not yet begun. There's a natural clarity that arises when the world is at rest. When you sit in meditation at this time, it's as if you are tapping directly into the universe's pulse. Your senses are heightened, but your mind is calmer. The usual clutter of your thoughts falls away, and in its place, there's an open space, a space for awareness, for mindfulness, for insight. It's a time when you can experience life with a profound clarity that is often hidden by the busyness of the day. At 3 a.m., it's not just the world outside that is asleep. It is also the ego, the busy self that constantly judges, worries, and plans. In that quiet space, we come closer to the essence of who we are, unburdened by the expectations and roles we wear during the day. Meditation becomes not just a practice, but a reunion with our most authentic selves. Imagine that you're sitting quietly in that pre-dawn moment. Perhaps you begin with a deep breath, allowing your body to relax. You feel the ground beneath you, firm, steady, unshifting. The first few moments may be filled with thoughts, scattered memories, or to-do lists rushing through your mind. But as you breathe deeply and gently, these thoughts start to fade. With every breath, you let go of the distractions, and what remains is simply the feeling of the present moment. Now, you may start to notice something extraordinary. In the stillness, the whispers of a universe begin to surface. It's as if the world is speaking to you in ways that words cannot capture. You might begin to feel a deep sense of connection to everything around you, both the vastness of a universe and the quietness of your own heart. In this moment, the world feels complete. There's no need to rush, no place to go, no past or future to worry about. You're simply here in the now. In Buddhism, we are often reminded of the principle of mindfulness, living fully in the present moment without judgment or attachment. When you meditate at 3 a.m., you are in the perfect place to practice this. The mind is free from distractions, and the heart is open to whatever arises. If a thought or feeling comes up, you simply notice it and let it go, returning your attention to the breath, to the present moment. You are not fighting with your thoughts. You're simply observing them, understanding that they do not define you. This is the power of present silence. It is not about forcing the mind to be still, but about creating the conditions for stillness to naturally arise. It is about allowing your breath to guide you back to the present whenever your mind wanders. And when you're able to let go of the distractions and become fully immersed in the now, something beautiful happens. You begin to experience a profound sense of peace. The power of meditation in the early hours is not just about the calm it brings in a moment. It is about how that stillness ripples throughout your day. When you wake up early and sit in this sacred silence, you're preparing your mind and heart for whatever comes next. The clarity you gain in those moments of stillness helps you navigate the rest of the day with a sense of calm and balance. Consider this. How often do you find yourself rushing through the day, caught up in the noise and distractions? How many times do you react impulsively to situations, only to later regret it? Meditation at 3 a.m. is a way to counteract this. By starting your day with a practice that centers you, you are training your mind to approach the world with more mindfulness. You are teaching yourself to pause, breathe, and respond with greater awareness and calm. In the Buddhist tradition, it is said that the mind is like a wild elephant, easily distracted and hard to control. But when we meditate, we are taming that elephant slowly but surely. The more we practice, the more we cultivate a sense of inner peace, and the more we are able to carry that peace with us throughout the day. The morning hours before dawn are a gift. They give us the opportunity to reconnect with ourselves, to quiet our minds, and to reflect on the deeper truths of life. And when you meditate during this time, you are not just practicing a technique. You are aligning yourself with the rhythms of the universe. You are tuning into a frequency that is both timeless and transformative. In these moments of meditation, you're learning to see beyond the surface of things. You're seeing not just the world as it is, but also the deeper truths that lie beneath it. You begin to see the interconnectedness of all things, the impermanence of life, and the beauty of simply being. As you sit in stillness, you might find that your worries begin to dissolve. The weight of your daily stresses lightens. You feel a sense of peace that transcends your circumstances. This is the power of meditation. It allows you to tap into a deeper, more enduring peace that is always available to you, no matter what is happening in your life. The early morning hours are the perfect time to cultivate this peace. In the quiet before dawn, you have the opportunity to go beyond the surface of your thoughts and connect with something deeper within. It is a time when the world seems to pause, and you can hear the whispers of your own soul. This is when true transformation begins, when you stop seeking outside of yourself and start turning inward. Meditation in the pre-dawn hours is a practice of awakening, not just to the world around you, but to the world within. It is a reminder that the greatest wisdom comes from within, that the path to peace lies in the present moment, and that we are never truly alone when we are connected to our own inner stillness. So the next time you wake up at 3 a.m., don't resist it. Don't try to fall back asleep. Instead, take a deep breath, sit in stillness, and allow the silence to speak to you. In that silence, you might just find the answers you've been searching for. Lotus Mind, awakening consciousness before sunrise. At 3 a.m., the world is still. Most people are asleep, their minds locked in deep slumber. But for some, this is the time when the mind begins to stir, when the body remains in stillness, and the soul begins to awaken. It's as if the world has paused just for you. The air feels fresher, the thoughts clearer, and there's a gentle sense that something significant is happening, even though you can't quite explain it. This is the hour when your consciousness is most receptive. It's the perfect time to connect with your higher self, to listen to the stillness, and to align your heart and mind with the universe. This time before sunrise is not just about the quiet. It's about something much deeper. The Buddha often spoke about mindfulness, about the importance of being present in the moment, and how the mind can be both a source of suffering and liberation. The early hours, especially around 3 a.m., offer a rare chance to tap into this mindfulness with full awareness. It's a time when the distractions of the world are at their minimum and the chatter of the mind can settle down, allowing you to glimpse the stillness beneath it all. The Buddhists believe that the mind is like a lotus, beautiful, pure, but often clouded by the mud of daily life. As the lotus grows through the water, it rises above the murkiness to bloom. Similarly, our minds are often trapped in the mud of our thoughts, desires, and distractions. But at 3 a.m., there's an opportunity for that lotus to rise. There's a unique clarity to be found in the early hours that can help you look past the clutter of the mind and see things as they truly are. It's a time when the mind is ready to let go of attachments, to rise above the worldly concerns, and to witness the world with a sense of awakening. As you lie there in the stillness, with your mind awake and your body at rest. The practice of mindfulness becomes simpler. The chaos of the day hasn't yet begun, and there is no pressure to do anything. This is the golden moment to sit with your thoughts, to simply observe them without judgment or interference. The Buddhist practice of vipassana meditation teaches us that true mindfulness arises when we can observe our thoughts as they come and go, without attachment or aversion. And at 3 a.m., when the world is quiet, it becomes easier to practice this form of meditation. The external distractions are gone, leaving just you and your thoughts, your breath, and the present moment. In the silence of the early morning, you might notice that your mind is more sensitive. You become more aware of the smallest thoughts, the quietest feelings, and the subtle shifts within your own consciousness. It's almost as if the universe is speaking directly to you. The Buddha called this state right mindfulness, where you are fully aware of the present moment, free from the distractions of the past or the future. This state of being is the foundation for spiritual growth, and it is during these early hours that you are most aligned with it. There's a certain beauty in this. When you wake at 3 a.m. and sit in the quiet, there's no pressure to be anything. You don't have to rush or perform. You simply are. And in that state of just being, the mind begins to settle. The worries of yesterday seem distant, and the concerns of tomorrow are far off. It's a moment when you can simply exist in the present, and that is where true peace lies. Buddhism teaches that peace isn't something that can be found externally, but is instead something that arises from within, from the quiet space of the mind. And this space is most accessible in the early hours. But what happens when you begin to practice this mindfulness at 3 a.m.? The more you do it, the more you begin to notice subtle changes within yourself. You may notice that your reactions to the stresses of daily life begin to soften. You become less attached to your thoughts, less overwhelmed by emotions, and more able to navigate the ups and downs of life with a sense of calm. You begin to live with more awareness, more intention, and more presence. It's as if your mind, once cluttered with distractions, has now become a clear, calm pond, reflecting the world as it truly is. This is the power of waking up at 3 a.m. It's not just about getting up early. It's about awakening your mind, clearing the mental clutter, and creating space for inner peace. This is why Buddhists have long understood the value of early mornings. In the stillness of the pre-dawn hours, there's a unique opportunity to cultivate mindfulness, to awaken your consciousness, and to align yourself with the flow of life. When you wake up at 3 a.m. and take a moment to sit in silence, you are not just waking up your body. You are waking up your mind and spirit. You are connecting with the deeper truths that lie beneath the surface of your thoughts, beyond the noise of daily life. And this connection is what brings about true transformation. It's not about forcing yourself to think in a certain way or to be someone you're not. It's about letting go of the noise and distractions that keep you from being your true self. The more you embrace these moments of silence and mindfulness, the more you will begin to understand the wisdom that comes with waking up at 3 a.m. It's a time for self-reflection, for letting go of what no longer serves you, and for awakening to the present moment. The Buddha taught that the path to enlightenment is through mindfulness, and what better time to practice it than in the stillness of the early morning. So, as you lie awake in the quiet of 3 a.m., don't be frustrated by the wakefulness. Instead, embrace it. Use this time as an opportunity to reconnect with your true nature. The world may be asleep, but you have the chance to awaken, to be more mindful, more present, and more aligned with your higher self. Let the lotus of your mind rise above the murkiness of distractions and find peace in the stillness. The more you practice this mindfulness at 3 a.m., the more you will begin to experience the world in a new light. You will see things more clearly, with more compassion, more understanding, and more wisdom. Your heart will be more open, your mind more peaceful, and your soul more connected to the universe. This is the true power of the 3 a.m. hour, a time not just to wake up, but to awaken fully, with a clear mind and a heart full of wisdom. By waking up at 3 a.m. and practicing mindfulness, you're giving yourself the gift of clarity, peace, and spiritual growth. This is the path that the Buddha walked, and it is the path that you too can walk, one step at a time, in the quiet of the early morning. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe. Let the noise of your thoughts settle like dust after a long walk. I want to tell you something. Not something from a book, not something from memory, but something from the very rhythm of life itself. You wake up at 3 a.m., and you wonder, why now? Not midnight, not at 5 a.m., but always, again and again, at this same mysterious hour. Many have this experience. It may seem like a disturbance to sleep, but it is not. It is an invitation from a universe, from something ancient, something far beyond human noise. You are being called, not by accident, but by alignment. You see, in Buddhism, we don't just live in the world. We live with the world. Our breath is not separate from the wind. Our blood is not separate from the rivers. Our thoughts are not separate from the sky. So when something keeps happening again and again, like waking at 3 a.m., it is not a random event. It is a pattern, and all patterns in nature hold meaning. At 3 a.m., the earth is at her quietest. Birds have not begun to sing. Cities have not yet stirred. Most people are deeply asleep, and in that moment, the veil between the seen and the unseen grows thin. The monks call it the hour of the spirit. It is the time when the soul can speak and be heard without interference. This is not just poetic talk. Even science now agrees. During this time, our brainwaves shift into deep stillness, much like the states monks reach in meditation. Our inner world becomes more open. But there is more. In the old Zen temples, the bell rings before dawn, not after the sun rises, not when the streets are busy. It rings in the dark, around the same hour you've been waking. Why? Because this is when nature listens. The air is lighter. The energy is softer. This is when clarity arrives, not loudly, but like a whisper across water. A Zen monk does not rise at this hour because it is tradition. He rises because the universe is most awake at that time, even when the world sleeps. Now let's step into the greater picture. Have you noticed how the moon shines differently in the early hours? Have you seen how stars disappear slowly, like shy guests leaving a party? The shift between night and morning is not just time passing. It is transformation. And transformation, in Buddhism, is sacred. It is the lotus opening from a mud. It is the candle lit in darkness. Waking at 3 a.m. places you right at the edge of this change. You're not awake because of worry. You are awake because you're standing at the doorway of something ancient and wise. Look closer. In Zen, we talk about harmony with nature. But harmony is not just walking in the forest. It is also listening when the forest calls. The time you wake holds meaning because all living things move in cycles. Birds, trees, rivers, even your own breath. And when your body starts to wake at the same hour as the Earth's most silent phase, you are moving in tune with a greater cycle. You're not out of place. You're in perfect rhythm. The Chinese medicine tradition, which shares roots with many Buddhist practices, also teaches this. Between 3 and 5 a.m., the lungs are most active. The breath, the spirit, the air we live by, all are moving freely during this time. It is no wonder that so many Zen practices begin with breath. And perhaps this is why, at 3 a.m., your breath feels louder. It is not just breathing. It is being breathed. Something deeper is happening inside you, through you, beyond you. And when you look at the stars, if you ever sit quietly at 3 a.m. and look outside, you may feel small. But that smallness is not weakness. It is connection. The stars have no ego. The trees do not shout. The sky does not rush. Yet all of them move in divine timing. And so do you. If you wake now, again and again, do not rush back to sleep out of habit. Instead, pause. Be still. Sit with it. You are in the hour of the sacred. People come to me and say, "Master, I wake at 3 a.m. and I feel restless." I tell them that is good. Restlessness is the beginning of awareness. It means something inside you is stirring, something that no longer wants to sleep. In Zen, we don't always try to calm restlessness. We follow it. Where is it pointing? What is it asking? Perhaps the universe is shaking your shoulder gently and saying, "Wake up, I have something for you." In many ancient Buddhist texts, dawn is seen as the symbol of enlightenment, not just because the sun rises, but because darkness slowly gives way to light. It does not happen suddenly. It happens quietly, gradually, without noise. Just like truth, just like wisdom. And maybe this is what's happening inside you. At 3 a.m., your inner light begins to stir. That is not the time to fear. That is the time to breathe, to listen, to ask without words. Everything in nature has its time. Flowers do not bloom all day. They bloom in the morning when the light is soft. And if you are waking at 3 a.m. again and again, you must ask yourself, not what is wrong, but what is right. What is blooming in you? What light is coming? Even if you cannot see it yet, you may feel tired. You may not understand. That is fine. Zen does not require understanding. It requires attention. Just notice. Do not explain away the moment. Live it. Feel it. If your eyes open at 3 a.m., let them open fully, not just to the room, but to the truth around you. You are part of something larger. The breath of the earth, the rhythm of the cosmos, the heartbeat of time. You do not need to force meaning. It will come, like morning light. It will come slowly and gently. Do not fear the silence of 3 a.m. That silence is the sound of the universe breathing with you. Do not rush to distract yourself with your phone or with tasks. Sit, even if for 1 minute. Sit and breathe, and say to yourself, not out loud, but inside your heart, I am awake at the right time. Because you are. You are not alone. The trees are listening. The stars are watching. The ancestors are near. And the Dharma flows even now. The timing of your soul is not broken. It is simply aligning with the ancient clock of life. And in that moment, all things are one. Now breathe again, and just be. Sacred habits. Crafting a Buddhist-inspired morning ritual. In the quiet hours before dawn, when the world still rests and the sun has not yet stretched its fingers across the sky, there's an opportunity, a gift, a space where silence reigns. Waking up at 3 a.m., or even just in the early hours of the morning, holds a profound potential for transformation. It is more than just waking up. It is an invitation to step into a world where clarity, purpose, and stillness await. The key, however, lies in how you choose to embrace this time. This is where the sacred habit begins. Buddhism teaches us the power of ritual. It's not about performing tasks mechanically or out of obligation. It's about creating a space for the sacred to enter our lives, to help us reconnect with the essence of who we truly are. When we wake early, when the world is still, there's an unspoken invitation to align ourselves with the rhythm of the universe, to find our center, and to begin our day not in haste, but with purpose. The first thing we must understand is that morning rituals are not about doing. They are about being. It's a shift of mindset, a reminder that before we engage with the world, we must first engage with ourselves. So often, we wake up to the chaos of the world, the demands of our responsibilities, the noise of technology, the rush of daily life. But in those early hours, we have the chance to cultivate something different, peace. The simplicity of waking before dawn is that it offers us time to pause, to reflect, and to reconnect. Consider this. The moment you wake up, the first breath you take is a precious gift. This is the first step in a ritual, a sacred habit that begins with gratitude. As you breathe in, feel the breath fill your lungs, the air flowing through your body. Then exhale, and with each breath, remind yourself of the gift of this new day. Acknowledge the chance you have to live, to experience, to grow. This moment is sacred. The act of breathing, the act of being alive, is a blessing. In Buddhism, we call this mindfulness, being fully present in each moment, with no distraction and no rush. Once you've centered yourself with gratitude and mindful breathing, you might want to take a moment to reflect on the impermanence of life. Everything around you, the world, the people you know, the body you inhabit, is temporary. In Buddhism, this understanding is called anicca, the law of impermanence. By acknowledging the impermanence of all things, you begin to release your attachment to the fleeting nature of life. You accept that things change, that time passes, and that it is our attachment to these things that causes suffering. But in the stillness of the morning, when the world is quiet, you have a chance to let go. Let go of the worries, the expectations, the noise that fills your mind. It's a release that sets the tone for the rest of the day. From here, you can move into a meditation practice. Meditation is one of the most powerful habits you can incorporate into your morning routine. It doesn't need to be long or complicated. Even just 5 or 10 minutes can help you ground yourself, calm your thoughts, and find clarity. The key is consistency. It's the regular practice of sitting in silence, focusing on your breath, or simply observing the thoughts that come and go, without judgment. This is the foundation of mindfulness, the practice of being present with whatever arises, whether it's a thought, an emotion, or a sensation. Through this simple act, you begin to strengthen your ability to stay calm, centered, and aware throughout the day. As your meditation practice deepens, you may want to incorporate mantras or affirmations. In Buddhism, mantras are sacred words or phrases that help focus the mind and align us with higher spiritual truths. One of the most well-known mantras is Om Mani Padme Hum, which translates to "the jewel is in the lotus." This mantra symbolizes the union of wisdom and compassion, reminding us that both are within us, just like the jewel hidden in the lotus flower. Chanting a mantra in the morning can help center your mind, awaken your heart, and remind you of your deeper purpose. When you've completed your meditation, it's time to move into the physical aspect of your ritual. This doesn't mean rushing to get ready or jumping straight into work. Instead, take a few moments to stretch or practice some gentle yoga poses. The body is often stiff after sleep, and a few gentle stretches can help wake up the muscles, improve circulation, and energize your body. But beyond the physical benefits, this act of stretching can also be seen as a metaphor for the way you wish to move through the day, open, flexible, and with a willingness to embrace whatever comes. As you move through your morning routine, it's important to remember that every action, no matter how small, can be imbued with mindfulness. Whether you're preparing a cup of tea, eating breakfast, or brushing your teeth, approach each task with attention and care. This is the essence of Zen, doing the ordinary with extraordinary awareness. It's not about the task itself, it's about the way you do it. Are you present? Are you aware? Are you engaging fully with what's in front of you? Another powerful practice to incorporate into your morning ritual is journaling. Writing down your thoughts, your dreams, your reflections, or your intentions for the day can be incredibly grounding. It helps you to clarify your thoughts and set your intentions. It also gives you a space to release any emotions or concerns that may have come up during the night. In Buddhism, we talk about the importance of letting go of our attachments. Writing can be a way to release those attachments, giving you a sense of clarity and peace as you move into the rest of your day. After these moments of reflection and self-care, it's time to connect with nature. Nature holds a special place in Buddhist teachings. It is seen as a direct reflection of the impermanence and beauty of life. Whether it's a walk outside, simply sitting in your garden, or even looking out the window at the rising sun, connecting with nature helps you to reconnect with the earth and with yourself. It reminds you that you are a part of something much larger, and that the cycles of life are both beautiful and fleeting. The final aspect of your morning ritual should be setting a positive intention for the day. This is a practice called setting an intention. It's the idea of consciously choosing how you wish to show up in the world. What kind of energy do you want to bring? What kind of person do you want to be today? By setting this intention, you're not only focusing your mind, but you are also setting the stage for your actions, your interactions, and your responses throughout the day. This is how you begin your day with purpose, not by reacting to the world, but by responding consciously. As the sun begins to rise and the world slowly wakes up, you will feel a sense of peace and purpose, knowing that you've taken time to align yourself with the rhythms of nature, to center yourself in silence, and to cultivate habits that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. This morning ritual, this sacred habit, will become your anchor. It will help you stay calm in the midst of chaos, grounded in the face of uncertainty, and peaceful in a world that often feels noisy. Remember, these practices don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be long or complicated. The key is consistency. It's the daily act of showing up for yourself, of honoring your mind, your body, and your spirit. These are the habits that, over time, will transform your life, allowing you to wake up not just at 3 a.m., but to the true essence of who you are. And in doing so, you'll find that your life becomes more meaningful, more connected, and more peaceful with each passing day. Full circle, embracing the gift of 3 a.m. and farewell wisdom. As the night draws to a close, and the 3 a.m. hour quietly shifts into the stillness of dawn, I invite you to pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Remember all that we have discussed, the quiet moments when you found yourself awake at that sacred hour. The early mornings, the quietness, and the feeling that something greater was at play. This hour, this experience, it has been a gift to you. Throughout this journey, we have ventured deep into the mysterious world of 3 a.m., a time that holds both silence and sacred energy. We've discovered that waking at 3 a.m. is not just about being awake physically. It's about something much deeper. It's about awakening to the deeper layers of your own being. Many people see this as just an inconvenient interruption to their sleep. They wish to fall back into slumber, to drown out the thoughts, the memories, the dreams. But I tell you, there is so much more happening at that moment. In Buddhism, there is a saying, "In the stillness of the night, the Buddha speaks." When you wake at 3 a.m., there is an opportunity to hear that inner voice, the voice of your higher self, the voice of wisdom that is often drowned out by the noise of the day. Have you ever thought about why you wake up at this exact time? It's not by chance. The 3 a.m. hour is significant. It is the time when the energies of the earth are at their quietest. The noise of the world is still, the distractions have faded, and you are left alone with your thoughts. It's in these precious moments that you can hear your own heart speak. It's in these quiet moments that the most profound insights come to you, often without warning. This is the hour where the ego sleeps and your soul begins to rise. At this time, your mind is clearer than ever before. The thoughts that race through your head in the day seem to calm themselves. The anxieties, the worries, the stresses, they all fade away, and you are left with a stillness that is both refreshing and powerful. It is here, in this calmness, that you can tap into the wisdom that Buddhism teaches us. The wisdom of being present, of simply being in the moment without judgment. The Buddha spoke often about mindfulness. He spoke about the importance of being fully present in each moment, not chasing after the past or the future. At 3 a.m., this practice of mindfulness becomes a natural state. There's no need to force it. The world is still, and so you are able to connect with yourself on a deeper level. Waking at 3 a.m. is a powerful reminder. A reminder that life is not about the constant rush. It's not about checking off tasks or filling every second with activity. Life, in its truest form, is about moments of stillness. And these moments of stillness are precious. They are opportunities for reflection, for growth, and for spiritual awakening. When you wake at this hour, you're not just waking up to the physical world. You are waking up to your soul. You are waking up to the deeper layers of your consciousness that you may have overlooked in the busyness of life. You are waking up to your true self, the self that is not bound by time, not bound by the constraints of the material world, but a self that is free, wise, and connected to something greater. As you reflect on your own experiences with waking at 3 a.m., ask yourself, what is this hour trying to tell me? Is it a sign of something I need to address in my life? Is it asking me to slow down, to be more mindful, to reflect on my actions and thoughts? These moments of awakening are not random. They are nudges from a universe, urging you to step into your truth. There is something magical about waking up before the sun. In those early moments, before the world is filled with noise, you're given a chance to reconnect with your deepest self. In Buddhism, this is known as the practice of dhyana, meditative absorption. When you wake at 3 a.m., you are in a perfect space for meditation. The stillness of the world allows you to go within, to quiet the mind, and to simply be. This is where true peace is found. Not in the noise, not in the chaos, but in the quiet spaces between thoughts. Perhaps you found that waking at 3 a.m. brings up certain emotions, old memories, unresolved feelings, or thoughts that you've pushed away. This is a gift. These emotions are not to be feared or avoided. In Buddhism, we are taught to observe our feelings without attachment. When you wake at 3 a.m., you are given a space to observe your thoughts and emotions with clarity. You can look at them, understand them, and then let them go. This is part of the healing process. And so, the 3 a.m. hour becomes not just a time of waking, but a time of transformation. A time to wake up to your own true nature. A time to shed the layers of attachment, fear, and ego that have built up over the years. It is in these early hours that we have the opportunity to strip away what no longer serves us and embrace the wisdom of our true selves. As you continue your journey in life, remember this. The 3 a.m. hour is not a curse or a burden. It is a blessing. It is a call to awaken to the deeper layers of your being, to connect with your soul, and to embrace the silence and stillness that the world often tries to drown out. And so, my friends, as we come to the end of this journey, I invite you to embrace the gift of 3 a.m. Do not see it as a disruption, but as an invitation to slow down, to reflect, and to reconnect with the deeper parts of yourself. In those quiet moments, you can find the wisdom you've been searching for all along. Take this wisdom with you as you continue your path. The world will always be noisy, busy, and chaotic, but in the silence of the early morning, in the stillness of the 3 a.m. hour, you can find peace. You can find clarity, and most importantly, you can find yourself. Thank you for walking with me through this journey of awakening. I hope that you now see the 3 a.m. hour not as a mystery, but as a sacred time, a time to connect with your inner wisdom and experience the depth of your own being. May you carry this wisdom with you always. Namo Buddha.